Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Robocraft with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to Factory Fun, the series in which you tell me which bot to test out from the community factory, and I do so to the very best of my ability, giving my honest first impressions, and of course, rating the bot out of 5 in both style and combat. In today's episode, we have the LoadedQuarrel by the Chard. Can fly the exact same with only half of its body as it does fully intact. Dips ever so slowly so you don't need to hold the spacebar. Overall, it's a great interceptor for those hard matches. So, my very first kind of opinions when I saw this bot was that it does look remarkably frail. The thing does not look like it's going to be able to take a great deal of damage. I also kind of thought it sort of looks like a pod racer. One thing I will say is that it looks like it could be incredibly agile depending on how powerful these thrusters are. Here's hoping it is, as I feel like this could be a really good harassing unit, able to get around the corners of the map, be able to attack enemies without actually being hit back, and simply able to avoid the main battles. Just go around the outskirts, picking off the weak and the injured, and doing things that way. So here's hoping we can fulfill that role and play it decently. I do have a feeling, however, that we're going to be in for a bit of a learning curve with this type of bot. So as always, we are going to be purchasing it with Galaxy Cash so that we give back a little bit of Galaxy Cash to the designer himself, Mr. Chard. So with that, let's purchase it and get into our very first battle. And so begins the first battle. It seems like we are going to be tested very quickly. We are against 4 plasma bombers and 1 interceptor, so the battle for the skies begins now. Okay, so first impressions, it doesn't pitch as fast as I thought. In fact, it pitches incredibly slowly, a similar issue to flyers we've tested out in the past. Also, when we turn, the entire thing spins due to the side thrusters, which is a little bit weird, and honestly, now I wish I had tested it out in the test mode before going straight into a battle, as this is going to take a little bit of getting used to. On the upside, a plasma bomber just sacrificed itself to us, and we were hit by plasma from I don't even know where. Situational awareness failing me again. So where are our guns? Okay, so it seems like we want to be on top of the enemy, which is generally the best position to be when you're an interceptor, as otherwise our guns simply can't shoot the enemy. Let's make sure we hit him to stop the healing. There we go. We even got the kill, although I don't feel like we actually deserved it. A lot of fire hitting the area around us. Yeah, this is just me trying to get used to the controls. A lot of focus right now just to keep this thing in the air. It's not something which is easy to get used to. Hello! However, we have at least been hit by several plasma, and as we've took damage from it, it hasn't really done much to us. So we have at least tested out this thing's sturdiness. Sturdiness, damage-taking capabilities. I'm sure there's a term here which is a lot better than what I just tried to say. Oh, the pitching on this thing is way too slow. It's making it very difficult to actually get it into a good position, particularly with the guns being so specific, wanting to fire underneath them and not directly forward. Actually, how is directly forward? No, never mind. Directly forward is absolutely fine. That was in my imagination. Hello! I wanted to go above the bridge, but apparently below the bridge works too. Actually, it did turn out in our favour. The bot knows better than me what to do. Lesson learned. Always trust in the way of the bot. Yay, we got another kill. Also, this thing is remarkably light. It does hover in place very, very well. Is there any helium on this? I imagine actually a little bit of helium on this would be fantastic. Also, no backwards thrust? No, okay. So no backwards thrust, it's just really light, which is adding to the feeling of it being so weird. It's hard to explain to people who aren't actively controlling a bot how the bot feels. It really is, but it does feel odd. That's all I can really say there. As I'm getting used to it though, I'm getting a better feel for it. Yay! We somehow got top place. That's actually quite surprising. So, how do I feel about the bot? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it medium? Was there a person sneezing in the background then? Who knows? I would say, in terms of combat, it took damage well, and I misjudged where it can fire. It can fire directly in front of it just fine, with no problems, and underneath it, which is honestly exactly where you need to be able to fire if you're playing an interceptor. The problem for me is the pitching and the feel of the bot. Although, no, actually, I take that back straight away. The feel of the bot is just me getting used to it. It wasn't a detriment, it was just a very weird thing which I wasn't expecting. So combat, I would say somewhere between 3.5 and 4. We haven't really tested out the damage taking capabilities, I'll think of a better word later, but we have tested out its overall feel, its ability to almost stop still in the air with no problem, and its ability to shoot in the right places very easily. So yeah, I would say between 3.5, and 4. Let's give it a 4 and be kind. Style, easily a 4. It does look nice. It looks interesting and different, which is never a bad thing. But we do have to do one thing before we carry on. Now I feel better. Second battle away. Okay, what's on the enemy team? We have an interceptor, a lot of SMGs, and 2 rails. So this time, a bit more of a hostile test environment than the previous. Here's hoping we still do pretty well. Although it would be nice to actually see how well this bot takes damage from things like rails, so maybe being hit once, and only once, would be the perfect outcome here. Oh, there's their plasma bomber, which apparently is a ground plasma according to the game. Game, you are drunk. That's definitely a flyer. Oh, medic, hello. You can't fight back. Unless I'm too low, which might be the case, actually. Yep, I'm definitely too low. I said it just before it happened. There we go. Yeah, being able to stop mid-air is very nice indeed. That was an ally, Lathrix. Don't fire at your friends. They won't remain friends very long. Oh, do not want to be in this fight. Do not want to be in this fight. I repeat that. We can't... Whoa! 1 rail instantly removed from combat. Wow. Yeah, very frail. That is a massive negative. Also, now seeing we do have helium. Okay then. That explains how I can stop still in a fight. Hello! Oh, that's so beautiful. Take that. Go away, sir. Never get too cocky, no matter how hurt the enemy is. You never know how many guns they have online, particularly at just a quick glance. Maybe we shouldn't have fired then. Oh, excuse me. Get off the rocks. Every time we're on something solid, it just makes it a lot easier for them to hit us. Oh, rail there. Oh, suddenly wishing we had more weird controls. There we go. Okay. We're okay. There's the rail again. See if we can do a little bit of damage to it, perhaps focusing on the medic next. There we are, focusing way too much right now just to get this thing to do what I want it to do. Just keep hitting them both to stop the auto regen, and once again we've been hit a single time. So I'm now saying combat is more of a 3. The big problem is the bot lacks the maneuverability to dodge shots easily. I mean, it's very difficult to even get this thing to move where you want it to, let alone do erratic movements. And it's way too frail, so as soon as something wants to hit it, they've instantly hit it, and it's down. So, not the best showing there in this match. We'll try again in another battle and see how we feel after that. Well, this is a little bit disconcerting. We are with a Megabot. I didn't realise this bot was so high rank. Apparently I should actually check beforehand. Honestly, this is a little bit terrifying. The thought of me going up against a Megabot right now is just not going to work out in our favour. Let's see if we can perhaps take out one of the bombers attacking our Mega and make ourselves useful. Also, getting away from the main battle, probably a good idea. We just got hit by an SMG, I feel. Okay. Here's hoping everything hits our shields. We are quite heavily shielded, so if we get lucky with where the enemy hits, we'll be absolutely fine. There we are, took out one of their plasmas. Although we have also planted into the side. Hello. I don't know why I'm really doing this. This might end up very badly, but actually going okay. Perhaps we've just got a weak spot for rails, because, again, the damage being dealt to us this time hasn't really ended up too bad. Of course, that came in the form of SMG fire this time. Okay, yep. We took a fair few shots there, absolutely fine on our part. Spotting them again. Aha, as a medic. I was wondering how he was regenning then. Didn't see the beams, other than these metal beams which I just hit in the face. Oh dear, their Mega's still alive. That's not the best. Although, I don't think it's got any guns. So focusing on the medic, much better idea right now. No! Don't... Oh, controlling this thing is so difficult! Turn! Please! Thank you! You're almost doing what I want sometimes. There we go. There we go. And fantastic. Destroyed. Carrying on. I am much better showing this time than last time. Again, it just goes to show you can't really get a good feel and grade for a bot until you've played in a few situations, a few matches, and you've kind of got all the different extremes sorted. Because the first match, this thing went really well. The second match, terrible. This match, not as bad, although still going to lose to things like that. This thing does fly okay with only one side. Oh, but not well enough though. Even less pitching. Come on, let's go around the edge. There we go. Still think it's too frail for its control, that's the problem. I'm desperately trying to get this thing to move in a bit more of an agile way, and I just can't figure out how. Maybe there's a way I'm just missing. That's always a distinct possibility. Oh dear. No, you're not regenning. No. Bad Megabot. Perhaps should have focused on the plasma copter that's actually doing damage to our team. And down you go, sir. Oh, he's also flipped so his plasmas can't fire very easily. Which is fine by me. I'm going to hit the wall here, but hopefully my SMGs will stay in the position they're in. Ah, darn, they didn't. Yay! We win! That went well. Still have the same feelings. I do think this bot has a weird kind of sturdiness against certain attacks. It's just... I can't find the positives to a large degree. It's good, it's decent, it's a decent bot, and I think that's what it is. It just has a host of problems which could be fixed with additional armor or just placement of items in a different way. I don't want to say it's a bad bot, I really don't, and I'm not going to, because it's not. It just could do with a few improvements here and there, which I've pretty much outlined already. Mostly with pitching. If this thing pitched a little bit faster, it would be so much better, being able to turn quickly. Also, the fact it does that horrible spin whenever you're turning left or right, I don't say horrible, it's very difficult to get used to, that's what I should say. It's a very difficult process to get used to, and it does cause the occasional turn to simply not happen. With that, then the lack of pitching. If that turn was accompanied by a much more powerful thruster pointing upwards at the front, that means you could do very sharp turns, but since one of those is lacking, it doesn't work very well as a normal flyer. Well, it seems like fate has intervened. Sadly, the servers are currently down in Robocraft, so I am unable to get into another match. I've been trying for the last 25 minutes, but it seems like it's a rather persistent problem, and everyone I've spoke to is getting the exact same problem, so I know it's not on the client side. So I'm afraid we will have to end our episode here, as this is the very last thing I'm recording before going back to England for the holidays, and I'm simply out of time. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Robocraft is a series you wish to see continued in the future. And of course, if you want your bot to be on future episodes, then please in the comments below leave your username, the robot's name, and of course the ranking and what type of bot it is, and any other information you can possibly think of which you think is pertinent to the bot's overall experience. My final thoughts on this particular bot is that honestly, it's not as bad as I thought it was in the second battle, and it's not as good as I thought it was in the first. It's honestly completely fine, and that's pretty much that. It has a few problems and a few really good points, overall making it a rather mediumly ranked bot, and I think a combat rating of 3 would have been more accurate in the not great but not bad section. It's a good bot. I would recommend it if you're wanting a flyer with a very different feel to it. I don't think I've ever flew something with the exact same control feel as this particular flyer. So once again, thank you for watching, and goodbye.